Hi guys, and welcome to Rufus and Doofus. Chico here today. Rufus is home sleeping very comfortably. It's too hot for him outside. I'm over at the RV. Just wanted to do an update on the generator problem. Um, I went around and checked all the wiring as I had told you, and I want to show you the things that I checked. If any of you guys having this problem, you might want to check the same things. And I determined that it's the starter that is the problem. So just want to show you what I'm up against. I've got the starter out. I will show you that at the end. But just to give you an idea of what's involved with this starter situation. And that's about it. So let's get going, and I'll take you for a tour of what I've done so far. Okay, first of all, I started here at the battery compartment and redid the grounds on the battery and all the connections actually, just to make sure that everything was okay. And these two 6 volts are hooked up in series, thus producing a 12 volt. So this ground here has been cleaned, all the positives have been cleaned, all the connections again cleaned nicely, make sure everything was okay. After that, and no success, I moved on, and here we are under the coach, and you can see that I've scraped the frame, and that's the negative wire coming off the batteries, and it was hooked up just a little bit above where you can see the new connection, and I just wasn't happy with that ground and I didn't trust it. So I scraped up a new area and used a self-drilling screw and firmly attached the negative terminal to the chassis, thus producing a ground. So now I know this one is okay, and we'll move on from here. Okay, here we are at the generator, and if you can get a good look at the ground there, I removed the ground terminal and I scraped down the chassis that it's mounted to, made sure that I had a really good contact, and then bolted it back down. So we know we have a good ground here, and we know we have a good chassis ground. Here's the positive wire. Okay, we cleaned up the positive wires on the batteries. The positive wire goes from the batteries all the way to the front of the coach and to the battery control center. Made sure we had good contacts up there. And the positive wire comes down at the frame rail and comes right back here and feeds the generator. Now the starter wire is right here, as you can see, and clean that up pretty good, so we should have good contact there. And the starter is obviously no longer in there. And I just want to give you an idea also, by the way, before I move further, there's another ground wire up here that attaches to the generator housing, and that is what goes down here to the frame. Both of those have been cleaned, so I know I have a good ground. Now the generator is located way back there and down. I'm going to see if I can slither the camera back there just to see if you guys can get a look at where the generator or the starter motor mounts. So I know it's dark back there, but hopefully you can see what I'm up against. And it's a little bit of a twist for the arm, but it can be done. I did in fact get the starter out. It's no longer there. Yeah, not an easy job, but with a little patience, I hope to be able to slide the new one in and get it bolted up so that I don't have to remove the generator. Because the generator is mounted on this shelf here, but there are no rails or anything for it to come out easily. This part here, disconnecting all this wouldn't be a problem. There's a plug and disconnecting the ground wire. But what the problem, where you start to get a problem, is that there's no place to balance this once you pull it out, and I don't want the thing coming out and falling on me or falling on the ground, because I'll never get it back up. There's plenty of AC wire left. You can see there it will stretch out quite a bit, and it hooks into the bottom over here. So yeah, I do have enough room to bring it out, probably about a foot, which would make like life easier, but I just don't trust it dangling on this edge here. Could be a little dangerous, and if I can avoid having to undo the bolts that hold it in, there's a few bolts here in the corners, there's a couple in the back, but I think I'm going to give it a rip while it's still in a position that it needs to be and bolted down. If I got it out, I should be able to get it in. And yes, a lot of you are probably saying that's bare. That's going to be taped up as soon as I do this video, just for safety's sake. I mean, there's really nothing on. No voltage gets over there unless I push the start switch. I did hook up the positive wire back on. Didn't want it dangling around anywhere. And as long as nobody messes with the switch, I should be fine. And even if they did, and that terminal here to the starter being taped up, shouldn't allow any problems to occur. So I think we're good there. Here's a starter that I pulled out. It actually uses this area here for a ground right to the generator casing, and then there's the power goes right here. It was very tight to get at, but so far so good. Here's what it looks like with the part that gets the motor engaged right here, that spins out, connects to the other gear and turns the engine over, and when it's done it springs back. Okay, so that's that. This one is not as free as I'd like. I'm thinking I have bad brushes or something in it, or worse, but I'm not going to throw it out. I'm going to have it rebuilt, but I do have a new replacement coming for it, and when it comes, we'll just slip that one in. And if the price on rebuilding this one here is reasonable, we'll have a spare. Being that this one went, it took a long time, but it did go, so one never knows. Better to be safe than sorry. Well guys, that's it on the generator update. Just have to wait till the new one comes in and try and get it in there. I know it's going to take some time and some patience, but once it's in, I hope it works, and that'll be one more problem out of the way. And this week we hope to get our tires on, so that'll be number 2 out of the way. And then after that, with any luck, Jeff and Justin will be available, and we can continue our journey of the test drive. Probably this coming, not this weekend, but the weekend after that, somewhere's around, let's say June 7th, I think might be that Sunday. I'm hoping anyway. So if we have anything else to fix or do between now and then, I'll make sure I video it and share it with you. Thanks again for watching, and you guys have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.